Cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90.
You thought the wait was over. I did. And everyone else did. But, unfortunately, it has come back. While we were experiencing the sunshine and the breaks from the rain this weekend, a storm has been brewing over the Gulf, and it's going to be touching down starting on Monday, in fact. And that means we'll be having even more rainfall and possibly even snow in certain areas. It depends where it is, but snow. We'll get into that as well. And I hope that this August rainfall doesn't rain out on my little Valentine's Day special with a certain host of a morning show you guys may have heard of. So. I'm kidding. And I hope it doesn't ruin your Valentine's Day special as well. But we do have a 7-day forecast to take care of. So, good morning, Z and Affirmation. I am Melissa, teleproducer and weather girl from Makini. Good morning. And here is the rainiest. Is that even a word? It's not a word. Okay. Here's the wettest. I'm kidding. Okay. Here is the 7-day forecast, sponsored by Pembroke Dropout. Like I said, if you thought the rain was gonna let up this week, then I have unfortunate news for you. Based on how you take it though. I know that atmospheric river has their sights set on the CSF Nation, and that means the rain will be much more impactful this week. Temperatures are in the highs and will stay relatively the same with the upper 50s to lower 60s. However, the lows will plummet into the upper 30s in a few areas, so be they very chilly, even more so than last week. The frost advisory will go into effect starting at 1 a.m. on Monday or last until 9 a.m. each day this week, so expect very cool mornings inside the device to defrost your car before heading out for the morning commute as always. There will be a shift in the weather pattern during the middle of the week as a low pressure system just off the Gulf of Atlantic will produce a storm that will be burrowing its way into the CSF Nation, bringing even greater amounts of rainfall for up to 5 inches. But however, it will be the first to experience it, with the storm touching ground and hitting throughout the CSF Nation in the following hours. The chances of potential flooding along with high winds are more possible than last week, and on top of that, potential fallen trees and power lines. So be very, very careful. Check your news station for updates on that as well. But here is the interesting part on this 7-day forecast. If you're in the hills near Royale or Winnie Vista, as well as the mountains near Ados Bay, where the elevations are up to 2,000 feet, expect possible snowfall at 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning. It may not be much, but you may be showered with even colder air. Though we'll keep an eye on this week. Now, with all the increased rainfall, would I handle your Valentine's Day on Friday? Well, if you're planning to go out, make sure you pack an umbrella, especially for Ados Bay and the Pacific City, where they will experience the most rainfall of the week. However, that rainfall will be marked on Saturday with mostly cloudy to overcast skies throughout the formation, with highs in the upper 50s and lows in the upper 40s. And that concludes the 7-day forecast for the week of February 9th through February 15th, and sponsored by Royal Zone and their dollhouse. Needless to say, we'll all be very wet this week, especially on Valentine's Day. I know I will be. For everyone who's listening right now, Makini is blushing so hard and it is so hilarious right now. heard that Pamper Dollhouse is providing you the last minute Valentine's Day gift for that special someone before Friday. So make sure you get yours custom made, of course. I am Marisa, producer and Waladale from Makini in the morning. And I wish all of you a wonderful rest of your day. Please stay safe out there. It is rain. It's going to be very slippery too. Make sure you have an umbrella and all that. And also, happy Valentine's Day for you and yours. Until next time. Back to your Makini.
Okay, Jesus Christ, when do I start working with it? Damn it. Okay. All right. We are good to go now. Had to switch over to my freaking. Had to switch over to. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Okay. All right, let's get into it because I'm gonna share this real quick. I'm gonna share this real quick. Yeah. So this happened. Oh, so this happened. Wait. Oh, for freak's sake! Come on. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. So this happened last night. So yeah, they have entered the they've entered the they've entered the hot springs arc of the first descendant. Don't show this to Melanie though. Don't show it to Melanie. No, that's what I'm just saying. And anyway, anyway, let's show that. So, good morning, CSF Nation. I'm Makini. Your Sermon Illustrator. Welcome you to Makini in the morning. It has been. Let's just start off while saying I apologize for not having a show yesterday, so we're making up for today. I was getting the intro. I couldn't get the intro and outro done in time today. So yesterday. So that's why we're making up for it today, and then we'll have a show regular show tomorrow. So anyway, so what are we working on today? Well, doing a little rendering study. If you guys saw the if you guys saw the thumbnail. So I'm doing a little rendering study, and I'll show you who this is. The work that you guys are seeing in the thumbnail, and the work I'm gonna be working on is the work of a old friend of mine from Instagram, SableSketch. I have put links to his socials in the description. Check him out. Give him a follow. Sable, me and Sable, like I said, me and Sable go all the way back from Instagram. I thought as I'm still working with this, as I'm still working with this, working with this new, working with this new style, new brushes. I thought it'd be fun to take one of his drawings and kind of do my version of it. So this is character V in this outfit, and today we're going to start rendering on the actually, we're going to continue the skin tones today, and then we're also going to continue the skin tones today, and then what we're also going to do is let's see if we can get the hair done today as well. Get the skin tones, let's get the hair, and try to see if we can get the clothing done as well. So we got a lot to go over, and we are going to be pressed on time. So you guys know what to do. If you guys enjoy the content, want to see more of it, do me a special favor. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button and make it jiggle. Like I said, we're going double or nothing this year, 6K. Before the end of 2025, big thank you to all of you all of you watching and all of you in pre-stream as well. So, sorry for running late. Let's go ahead and say hi to everyone real quick. Power 1000, first one here with the Power News Network. And the one that he brought up, and the one that I think we're going to do a reaction video to, is the Crunchyroll situation. I don't know if it was Hero Hey or somebody reacted to that, but during our second break, we're going to react to the Crunchyroll. During our 15-minute break, we're going to react to the Crunchyroll situation. We're going to do a quick reaction to that, and we might also react to Avowed during our last hour. We're going to react to Avowed, Smash JT's Avowed video as well. Difficulty, good morning, Neo J. Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day, of course, even if you're by yourself. Sean, good morning. Little technical issues there. Infernable Soul, thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Penny, good morning to you. Lucky Nico, good morning. And that should be it. So let me go ahead and get every single thing set up. Where is let me get my stuff set up here, and let's get our work set up here right now, and then we are going to get started. Let me turn on the music for you guys, and then we shall begin. Where is it? Okay, and all right, perfect house, and let's go ahead and hit play. All right, let me know if it's too loud, guys. Let me know if it's too loud. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got that. Boom, boom, boom. And okay, Pomodoro time. All right. And I accidentally just turned that off. My bad. And I accidentally just closed that window out. My bad. Okay, and where's my Pomodoro timer? Perfect. There we go. Okay, let me know if it's a little too loud, guys. Okay, we are ready. Okay, let's go and set the timer. Boom. Okay. Okay, so Don't worry, guys. I got the eye on the chat as well. Let me make sure the video. Yep, the video's up. Okay, perfect. All right. So where are we on this? We are on the contact layer. We are on the contact layer. We are on the contact layer. Okay, and then we just kind of. I started rendering. Yes, last night actually. I started rendering last night. I'm playing with some more. I guess you could say I'm playing with. Want to play with more dynamic lighting this time. That should work. I want to play with more dynamic lighting this time. With the character having more oranges almost. He was a big fan of Starfire, wasn't he? That's why. Okay, I gotta look at it like that. I gotta look at it like I'm rendering Starfire. Okay, that's what I thought. It was like it didn't hit me until now. Okay. It did not hit me until now. That is, I'm basically rendering Starfire. Okay. So that's a good way to look at it this time now. With the orange skin, playing with orange skin. Playing with a lot of just like more mid-tones than anything else. As you can see from the top and everything, I was as you can see from the top here and everything that I was kind of working around with more mid-tone colors to add some more definition. Add some more definition to the body as well. If not even more subtle definition as well. The light is going to be, of course, the light's going to be behind her. The light's going to be behind her, and that's obviously to be a good way to play with. A good way to really get so I was kind of like when I was working on this last night on the train home. I admit it was a little kind of like long. I wouldn't say it was long getting around today, but I think after this and the Miyabi illustration. I think this and the Miyabi illustration, I think I'm getting more and more the hang of it. But I realized my biggest focus. My big focus is on more trying to replicate those exact like brush strokes, if you know what I mean. Like trying to replicate like those exact brush strokes instead using their own brushes to pull off those kind of exact brush strokes. I said this during the Miyabi illustration that it did feel like I was getting a hang of it. It felt like I was getting a hang of it, and I think here I'm starting to get a little bit more. But you have to understand, like, I don't know if it just sounds more like I'm rambling or anything, but the thing that I have to one thing I have to remember in the back of my mind is that it's very loose. Is that I see this as a very loose approach, very loose, very I want to say very loose, very painterly. I think it's another good way forward for it. Very loose, very painterly approach. So your edges are pulling, so you can get away with having more. So you might be able to get away, and if you do it right, get away with having more looser mix of softer and harder edges too. And I'm having fun with this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having fun with this, but this is more. I'm having fun with this, although this is more of a secondary, more of a secondary art style. You know what I mean? It's having more of a secondary approach with it, basically. It's more of a secondary, more of a secondary approach, pretty much. The let's see here. Please. Also kind of really nail that effect too. I'm really getting used to lightly touching things up with the soft soft eraser brush too. It is right here. I need to get if you want to get those, similar effects. Smooth it out like that. And like I said, the kind of learning of like, which is like, how do you look at it? Though? How do you look at it? Like, if I'm rambling about this, but for example, I realized I did this during the Friday night show that I started sketching this like right after I finished Miyagi, I think that's where I'm kind of am right now, is like, that's where I'm kind of am right now. It's like making this, drawing this, making this a much more, a process that I am very much looking forward to now. It's a process that I am very much looking forward to now. And even the line art process, like I toned down the here, I'm gonna show you real quick. So the line art is much limited here. The line art is less actually. I did a lot. I didn't do a lot extensive line art here. In fact, just double check. Okay, okay, okay. No. I was doing a lot less extensive line art, and like putting, a lot of it is just putting my trust in letting the putting all of the little details, like getting all those little details in during the rendering process. So, don't overdo it. Just kind of let the rendering kind of basically take care of that. Basically kind of do work. Put some confidence in that you can detail much further using only simplified, keeping your line art to not be extensive, basically, like I usually do. If that makes any sense, basically. if that makes any sense. I'm hoping it does. Hoping it does. Yeah. And then, like I said, sometimes I will go out and use like I'll go out and switch over to the clothes bar brush, but I do want to get a good understanding of the smoothing brush here too. Get a good understanding of the smoothing brush as well. I don't think I haven't forgotten about just going in and adding like additional tones, and adding additional tones here and there. Here and there, you remember, the whole point is you're keeping this style, you're keeping it loose, you're keeping it pretty loose. So, in keeping that, in keeping that approach very loose, I guess it's not the brush, anything else. And keeping that approach loose, you get you're getting an understanding too. You are getting that understanding. Kind of how I'm seeing it, though. I need to focus. My thing is I'm so heavily focused on trying to replicate the exact strokes, trying to get that as exact edges, trying to get those exact edges and stuff like that. I'm wondering if that might be the case. Using that and just using one of your color stretching as well. So that you can work when bounce around with the different values when it comes to stretching out the color too. You can just move the brush. Work with the density too. You might be able to get that softer, denser look. I think you can just with the soft eraser, not even a hard eraser, light touches. Light touches like that, and you see that trying to add a lot more value to it, trying to add a lot more. if you guys know what I mean, a lot more value to it. So these you do have to go back in and lightly touch this up as well. Here. 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 Some of it you really get to you're trying to get to those kind of values too. Yeah, those kind of values, especially Here. 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 Here in let's see, going back in to kind of touch up a few things as well. So I could touch up a few areas. So we gotta do the ears as well. Real quick. And that's what I was saying with not using limited line art basically. Using limited yeah. You know what? I'm really liking this approach to the face. I'm really liking this different approach to the face, specifically the eyes. I'm drawing the eyes differently. I'm drawing a different eyes, so. And it's something that I'm not going to be able to, something that I'm not able to like knock out in the first try though. I don't think it's something I can be able to do, like knock it out completely in the first try, but I really, really like it. Really like it, especially first the face, because you're trying to approach it like this. That's how he does the faces. That's how he does the eyes and such like that on those things. Oh no. Yeah, so I'm trying to show to you like here, like how he does the eyes like that. That's what we try to achieve here. That's what I try to achieve. So, thank you. Oh, thank you. We can use the use that. You can use that line art brush. You can use that. Use that line art brush basically to like fill in those extra details. Fill in those extra details basically. Almies, good morning to you. Almies, good morning to you. Where are you at, Almies? Where are you at? Those are kind of the faces that I'm trying to convey here. I'm in Texas on the way to Aurora, Colorado. Nice. Okay, here. We got that. Now, before we kind of put a final capstone on this contact layer, I want to add a couple more. I want to add some little more subtle tones here. I'm going to use the soft brush. Cut the opacity down. And cut the opacity down, and then okay. Okay, and done. Okay, so contact layer is for the most part completed. Now, all in all, I'm liking where it's going. I'm liking where it's going. It's just a bit more tweaks, a bit more tweaks and such like that. Once we finish, once that break is up, we're going to start on. We're going to do the Terminator. We're going to do a Terminator shading, and then we're going to start on the lighting. So then we're going to really get into gear with the lighting. I think that's going to bring it all together, basically. Bring it all together. So, okay. It's almost like a subtle glow. There's almost like a subtle glow to her to be right now. So, okay, now let's something real quick. Here. Oh, there's a state of play tomorrow at 2 p.m. Of course it is. Okay. Somebody state of play tomorrow. Let me look. Now there's some serious Crunchyroll drama. If I could find it though. Okay, so this was okay. So shoot. Okay. Okay, so the Crunchyroll thing came from Hypnotic. So, okay, yeah, Hypnotic and Chibi Reviews. Okay, so because of no, we're gonna do this dude solid. I'm gonna do this dude solid. But we're gonna react to one video from Chibi Reviews in the next 15-minute break. Okay. So Power, if you're still listening, thanks for bringing that up. I will have that video queued up, and we will react to it during our 15-minute break. Okay. And then in the last hour of the show, we will do. We'll react to Smash It. So, all right. I'm looking at how to approach this as well. I'm looking at how to approach this as well. So, because we'll do a little Terminator. We might have done some Terminator brushing. Might have done some Terminator work already, but we never know. Just like a subtle Terminator work here and there. We'll probably add I've never seen ReZero. I know of it though. I know of it. I know of it, Jay. Last thing I know of ReZero is they did a whole collab with Nikkei, I think last year. Okay, so we're going to do it. Okay. I think we can pull this off. Like I guess we can pull these. This an easy one right here. It's a good example. I think we can pull these tones off. Like I seriously think we can pull these tones off. Or I think that's what we're trying to. That's what we're. That's what we're trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to aim for. I still got to do the lips. I just realized I still got to do the lips. Oh, hey Ronnie. I think we can get these tones. I think we can get this kind of tone. This is what I'm trying to aim for. So you can see that with the way she's going over like that. Trying to get those kind of tones. So that's what we're aiming for today. Okay. That is what we are aiming for. Okay. Okay, so I got the Chibi Reviews video queued up for the next break. It is 8:01. Hit start, and then in the next break, we will react to the Crunchyroll drama from Chibi Reviews. Thank you to Power. Thank you to Power for bringing that up. Okay. Okay, so let's put a final capper on the let's put a final capper on these let's put a final capper on these on the contact layer here. So I'm going to add some additional details. There's even more we can do with the there's even more we could do with the so much more we can do, especially with slashing and stuff like that. I know I'm like really close to the really up close with V's face, but you'll see what I'm referring to. Something that looks really soft. See, I think we can. See, I definitely think that this can really the rendering can really making the eyes feel much more. Making the eyes feel a little more realistic too. You know, using softer shading too. Here, the base. Okay, let's do the mouth real quick. Let's do a really good render job with this mouth. Here. 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 These are software things for. There are ways you can use to soften those edges as well. Just to make the thought, you know. There we go. There we go. And there we go. So we got that. Have that. Now, let's do the okay. Let's do a Terminator. Doing laundry on Pico. Thank you so much, Penny. I really appreciate that. Okay, let me know if the music is too loud, everyone. Smack that like button. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do Terminator. Here. brush here. Soften it here as well. Just like this. Like this. And right where light and dark touches. Right where light and dark touches, of course. Here. This spot here. So what's up? Let's look like that video. Here. So distracting them to sleep with some soft home. That's not what this is. That's what it was. Look at it. I think we are good and start time. Yeah, I think we're good to go. But before we do that, I think I might be able to better off just use my ambient brush for this one. Here we go. Here. Oh. There we go. Here. Here. Okay. Okay, there it is. see. I want to do those eyes. I want to see if I can take those eyes and render it, like you see here. See if we can pull that off. Okay. We're going to put okay. All right. So just go it this way. Here. Here. Still have time to get to the lighting. I just get around the eyes. Still have time. Yeah. Here. Yeah. here. And then some of this I can put into the lighting. Stuff like that. So I want to render it out. So. We're going to do that below. Here. And we are rendering out this I want to get rid of. So there you go. I think we kind of fleshed out the. Hopefully we fleshed out the eye a bit. And then what we want to do is not. Soft eraser. Lightly. Here. There we go. Okay. Okay.
When you feel like it's over and nothing else matters, I know you feel so divided.
Right.
Pick yourself up
Because we're gonna let that detail kind of sink into
just let me hear you talk, girl. You have come too far to give it up now, even though it seems there's no way out. Take a look in the mirror now. What do you see? You can be anything you want to be. You know, you will never be alone.
here. So that means we're gonna get crazy. We're definitely really need to get crazy with this line art. We'll get crazy with the hair. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, you guys ready for the lighting?
When you feel like you're stranded at the edge of the world.
We're not doing the ring lighting yet. We're not doing the ring lighting just yet. But
Give some love to
couple lifetime
yourself and you
rules.
better start.
And it's already 25. 25.
Welcome to bottom.
All right, let's see. Okay,
Even though it's you, there's no way out.
okay, we got that. All right, so
Take a look in the mirror, now what do you see?
everyone,
You
hello,
can be
hello.
anything
Okay,
you want to be, you
let's do the.
know.
All right,
You will
let's
never
expect
be
this. So far, we're getting good. We're making good progress. We are making real good progress. I think I'll be making a lot more progress, especially at work today. But we're definitely getting there. Still got another hour and a half. So let's go ahead and go take our 15. Let's take that 15 and let's go ahead and let's do that reaction, shall we? Okay, so I got Chibi Review lined up. Okay, so I got Chibi Reviews lined up. Let me turn the audio down and we'll do a reaction for a 15-minute break. Let's see what we got. Let's see what's going on with Crunchyroll.
An ex-Crunchyroll employee reports getting fired for requesting an ADA accommodation to tend to his mother with terminal cancer.
Oh.
Are we even surprised? Let me go through the list, okay? This is the same company that has removed and disabled comments because of just a few bad eggs on one episode. They have done localizations that are absolutely horrendous, and a lot of people have talked about them extensively, not just myself. They have effectively stolen fan mail from a very prominent, employee at Crunchyroll.
Remember that?
We have had them
that.
remove voice actors because they basically refused to do a contract with them. The too long to not read is right here, as you can see.
If I remember, the stolen fan mail was only like a month ago. That was like a month and a half ago, too.
They are not necessarily a good company. We have seen time and time again that Crunchyroll legitimately mistreats their employees, they mistreat voice actors, they mistreat translators, they mistreat their very consumer. They are a company that legitimately is just toxic. Now, they don't always do everything bad. They sometimes get things right. But there is just a continuous mountain that builds higher and higher as this company continues to exist. And the overall lack of transparency, the lack of statements about some of these things legitimately makes them look even more evil than they already are. Now, at the end of the day, there is something that does need to be stated before I go any further. This statement from this ex-employee could be two things. It could be entirely accurate, it can be completely true, and we can take this all at face value, and that's exactly what it is. However, there is another side, and I will give Crunchyroll a silver lining here, something to really grab onto to use for themselves, even though I really shouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt, because we have seen how their management is within the company. There is a possibility that this employee that, made this statement talking about their mother having terminal cancer, it could be dramatized. I'm not saying they lied. I'm not saying what they're saying here is lies or anything like that. But obviously, there is two sides to a story. There always is, okay? And obviously, at this point, since this is relatively new news, this was just posted literally 2 days ago, as you can see here. This is real. This is a real post. This is a real person that's worked on the company on an official site like this. It is legit. It's a legitimate post. So at the end of the day, this could be a disgruntled employee, just very upset, and then made the statement to really damage Crunchyroll, which would be pretty easy because obviously there's a lot of people that do not like how the company operates in the anime and manga community, and people even outside of that. And a lot of people in Japan, from my understanding, big official companies, don't even like Crunchyroll. What I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, one side of the story, obviously, this can be completely true and completely accurate, and then there's other side of Crunchyroll side where maybe this is just dramatized. However, I still think
I agree, and to that I agree. Like I said, just take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. And to answer Joe's people still use Crunchyroll. Well, Crunchyroll is like one of the only outlets you could be able to get the latest like anime and stuff coming out to the West and such like that, because Crunchyroll under Sony, who is basically ran a monopoly. Sony's basically running a monopoly on the the anime streaming business, and Crunchyroll, they own Crunchyroll as well. So it's the only place, because a lot of time, and also something to keep in mind, John, is that a lot of the people sailing the seven seas is not a lot of people. Sailing the seven seas still exists. I remember sites like Kiss Anime and such like that would post up dubs like as soon as they come out. They post up Japanese subs and stuff as soon as it comes out, and a lot of those sites are just being taken down. So there still is outlets. It's just Crunchyroll is just the mainstream one, and a lot of it's just because probably a lot of viewers don't. Probably because the viewers don't have discovered, really delve into the seven C's to really look for the animation side. Yeah, and Crunchyroll started out as a seven C's. All right, let's continue.
Regardless, I think there is some truth to this statement. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, there has been enough stacking of absolute doo-doo on a mountain for a long time. This is kind of relevant. I'll talk about this in a second. But there's been a lot of stacking of just absolute trash for a very long time. For years upon years, we have seen how this company operates. We have seen what they have done to their employees. If it was for instance, this was the first time we've seen something like this, a bad thing from Crunchyroll in the last 3, maybe 4 years, hell, even 2 years ago, I would kind of be like, okay, it happens. I mean, it's not a good thing. It's not, but I mean, bad things are going to happen when you have hundreds of employees at a company. That's the truth, okay? It doesn't mean the entire company is wrong. It doesn't. But when you have continuous back-to-back issues within the company with a lot of problems with management and just continuous things that shove away customers and really make them not even want to pay you anymore, I think there is a problem with leadership. The people on the top of Crunchyroll are not really good with managing the company and dealing with these eternal issues that obviously need to be addressed. So before I go any further and I, just talk on length on this subject, I do want to read this post that Sean here has posted and, talked about his issues with Crunchyroll and what he's accusing them of. Now, once again, as I already said, this is Sean's side of the story. So until Crunchyroll makes an official statement, we just got to take him at face value. But once again, there's always two sides to this. There could be more information that comes out. But like I said, I can give Crunchyroll the benefit of the doubt, but also this man because of just the overwhelming evidence that we have just continuously seen over the years. How Crunchyroll treated me after my hardest year. I never imagined I'd be writing this post. I gave my all to Crunchyroll, working nights and weekends, driven by passion for the fans and the platform, even while facing one of the most devastating challenges of my life, my mother's terminal cancer. I remained dedicated to my work. When the stress, depression, and anxiety became overwhelming, I was diagnosed with anxiety and major depressive disorder and requested an ADA accommodation. A reasonable step that could have been met with understanding and support. Now, for clarity on this situation, ADA, because there's a lot of people that's getting this statement confused. A lot of people are confusing ADA and FMLA. And to kind of explain, he wasn't asking for accommodation because of his mother's terminal cancer. He was asking for, accommodation to be able to have, relief for now, take away from the company, step away, maybe unpaid leave or whatever for a little bit because of his anxiety and his depression, etc. Makes a lot of sense if he's dealing with his mother having terminal cancer. Right. So he was basically asking something for himself, not just to take care of his mother, but just for himself. If he wanted to take leave just to take care of his mother with terminal cancer, he would have had to do a FMLA. That's what he would have had to do. Now, I'm not completely up to date with all the laws here and the intricacies of it. I'm not going to act like I do, but I do know that if you are wanting to take leave because of a family member that's sick or disabled or whatever, you got to use FMLA. But obviously he did ADA. That's what this story is saying, and that's even what he said in his official statement, which means it's addressing his personal disabilities, his issues and problems, his psychological problems and everything that he's facing. That's why he did it, basically. But anyways, instead, I experienced hostility. A manager I didn't even report to cursed me out and made an extremely obscene gesture during a workplace conversation. Now, obviously, there's no clarification of this. We don't know exactly what the gesture was, if it was a rude comment, a slur, a gesture of like maybe their hands or something. Who really knows? It could be a flip off. We don't know. But obviously, they're saying there was a very obscene and obscene gesture that was given to them. I documented the incident and reported it to HR. Now, when he said documented, I don't know if necessarily means like he just reported it and that means it was documentation, or if it was recorded or not. There is really no clarification of this statement here. But instead of taking corrective action, I noticed a shift in how I was treated. Subtle at first, then more overt. aka he reported to HR, but all of a sudden everything just started going sideways for him. I raised concerns about workplace treatment, professionalism, and respect. Shortly after, Crunchyroll made the decision to terminate my employment, citing a policy violation. Then they offered me severance in exchange for silence. Now, if he can prove that they tried to silence him with severance, that's what. Okay, he definitely needs to prove.
And the thing is, take what Chibi Reviews is saying earlier. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, take this with a grain of salt, because on one hand, yeah, this is one hand definitely is true, definitely the case with Crunchyroll. But on the other hand, this could also sound like a disgruntled employee, though. And with Joe, and I think that's where Joe is kind of coming off here as well. He said, "I don't want to sound like a douche here, but it's a job. It's a job. You need time off. Do it, assuming you're irreplaceable. That the people you work with aren't scumbags is on you." Yeah. So, in some ways, it could be. And the other side is that it could be more than a disgruntled employee, though. And however, I think with the kind of the situation, I think there probably needs to be more clarification, like maybe not exact details of the incident that went down, but just enough, though. I think there needs to be a bit more detail. I think there needs to be more clarification, more insight to, what happened. Some of those people say, like, if there's like images or something that he can, proof or something like that. It just comes off like this paragraph. A lot of this paragraph does come off as a little vague, honestly. You know what I mean? So
prove that one. But the manager in the photo, he remains employed.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I am now without income while I care for my mother, a 52-year-old substitute teacher who is battling cancer in a broken U.S. healthcare system that has left her unable to afford treatment. Leadership knew. HR knew. Yet this is how they responded. I share this not just for myself, but for the many professionals out there who face retaliation for speaking up, who are forced to choose between their livelihoods and their dignity. We often talk about company values, but how often do those values hold up when the employees need them the most? Have you ever been in a similar situation? How do we hold companies accountable to their own principles? Let's talk. So basically, this is Sean's statement on what Crunchyroll did to him. Like I said, at this point in time, Crunchyroll, from my knowledge, I could be wrong on this, from my knowledge, Crunchyroll has not made a statement on this. But it's very clear that this is a real individual that has worked at Crunchyroll. They have a history with working at Crunchyroll, and this is what, they were and all that. They were a software engineer and all that. They know. They work there. And to be treated like this, obviously, if this 100% there was no dramatized facts or anything,
right,
I fully understand. I mean, going through depression, anxiety, and then you're asking a company to give you some, leave and all that, for you to just step away to get your mental health in order. Obviously, it would hurt if you try to talk to someone and then you get cursed out for stuff like that, and then the whole company kind of slightly changes and turns against you, and the workplace gets a little bit hostile, a hostile workplace environment. And then, obviously, eventually you're fired because you try to speak up about it. Yeah, I'd be a little bit upset, too. I'd be a little bit of a disgruntled employee if that happened to me. Now, like I said, there could be another side to this. Maybe this individual had something else going on that we're unaware of, but obviously we don't know. And all I'm saying is that there's been too much evidence piled against Crunchyroll for mistreatment of employees or how they treat certain controversies that I can't help but look at this this is probably true.
Okay.
My opinion, obviously. I'm just going to say it. But it's I believe this. I do actually believe this is something that probably happened 100%.
We'll go for 4 more
Maybe
minutes.
it's a little dramatized, but still. That gets to the next part, the Sony stuff, which I showed briefly and I clicked on this.
PSN
so
down,
the reason why this is relevant, obviously, I know this is gaming, okay? And this is not like Crunchyroll or anything like that. But what I'm saying is there's some similarities here. Sony owns, obviously, PlayStation and Sony Entertainment, all that type of stuff, and a bunch of different, companies underneath the Sony umbrella, so to speak. So obviously there's different people that hold, management of these different companies within Sony. We know this. Different people working in the place. But Sony does have a history, especially with PSN, of basically not being really transparent and like leaving people in the dark. And a really good example of this is literally what happened with PSN these last 20 plus hours, to where it went offline and the only thing that PlayStation legitimately stated was actually this: PSN has been restored. You should be able to access online features without any problems now. For more details, visit so-and-so. Sorry for the inconvenience. And then basically, once they, said they apologize for the inconvenience, we will offer you 5 additional days of service. I mean, that's a good gesture. Don't get me wrong. But it's like they don't detail why it happened. From my knowledge, there has not been an official statement of what really happened, if it was an attack, DDoS, whatever. Nothing. And this is obviously an official, in a Twitter support account for PlayStation. So it's very obvious that PlayStation does not like, being very transparent with its customers. No, and this is something that Sony has actively done with a lot of their companies underneath their management. Crunchyroll is a good example of this. So I think that, in general, this is one of the reasons why I'm so adamant and against Sony buying more companies in the anime and manga world, because they are legitimately a company that is just super untransparent with what they do, and they definitely don't treat their customers right. They don't. They do some very anti-consumer practices continuously in all different areas they manage, and I don't like it. I don't. So all I'm saying is that this is some crazy stuff. Crunchyroll being an evil company, who would have guessed? Typical stuff. Yeah. But I guess hopefully this video makes traction and we might get an official statement from Crunchyroll. I hope we do, because I think we deserve one. I think at the very least, we don't actually. You know what? I take that back. We don't deserve it. Sean deserves it. I would at least like to see Crunchyroll acknowledge this and talk about it. I would like to see it. But anyways, be safe, stay healthy, and I love you guys. Stay winning. Chibi out.
Yeah, so that was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, That's kind of the problem with the situation. We know Crunchyroll is coming, but they're coming in this particular situation. Yeah, because it's like I said, I'm taking it with a grain. I take this situation with a grain of salt, basically. I take it definitely with a grain of salt on this one. You want to admit just because it just kind of comes off as a little vague. It comes off as a little vague. I think it definitely needs to be much more detailed. There definitely needs to be much more detail about this. There definitely needs to be much more detail about this, and there also needs to be more. There definitely needs to be more. There definitely needs to be a statement from Crunchyroll themselves on this situation, because it is definitely trying to gain traction. So we shall see. Until then with that, it's Crunchyroll. It's Crunchyroll, and for a lot of people, Crunchyroll has burned a lot of bridges over the years. And I mean a lot of bridges, though. So this is definitely worthy of the, take it with a huge grain of salt. Take it with a big grain of salt on this one, because However, like I said, however, I just don't. However, it is Crunchyroll. I wouldn't be surprised, but it does sound like they do need to nip this in the butt, or respond, because it seems that in a follow-up video, Chibi Reviews posted that I think it's getting a little bit worse for Crunchyroll. Let me check. Let me go back to that real quick. Okay. Let's react to this real quick.
It's impressive. It's impressive just how bad Crunchyroll really is. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, what I'm about to talk about isn't necessarily as bad as yesterday's news about them, where you had an employee fired because he wanted to take some time off to take care of his terminally ill mother with cancer. But this still showcases an aspect of Crunchyroll's Department of Management and marketing and how they deal with transparency and interact with their community. It showcases just what type of company this is, and that they legitimately don't want to own up to any mistakes. They don't want to be transparent, and they don't want to hear your voice. I mean, this was already apparent with the removal of comments last year on Crunchyroll, which was obviously a very controversial move. I mean, I've talked about this already, but to give a little bit up to speed for those that are unaware of the comment section removal, one episode caused a little bit of controversy in the comments, so to speak. It got a little bit heated, so to speak. Okay, and the thing is Crunchyroll's overall reaction to it was to remove the comment section, not just from that series or that episode, but basically the entirety of the site. They nuked the comment section that has been basically a staple part of Crunchyroll's site for a decade plus. So it was a very controversial move, but it also showed that Crunchyroll wanted to not just distance themselves from the community, but silence their community. They didn't want to hear any negative feedback. They didn't want to hear people talking about a series. They didn't want to hear it whatsoever. And so it was a very drastic move that showcased a very anti-consumer practice that Crunchyroll was doing late last year, or middle of last year, not late, but in the middle of last year. So we fast forward to this. This is another good example of just the mismanagement, not just of the product ReZero, but also mismanagement of just being transparent with your community that you're trying to build, and really just kind of spitting on the goodwill of people that do want to actually watch the series on your said site. I have went on length and a rant about Crunchyroll literally last week about the ReZero situation with the marketing to the bad translations, and I want to talk a little bit more about that today, because this honestly, this is disgraceful. It really is. And I want to once again reinstate this. In the grand scheme of things, this isn't the biggest of deals, okay? Obviously, yesterday's stuff was definitely a lot more important.
Yeah.
But like I said, this showcases insight to the company and how they operate, not just with ReZero, but basically all their products and how they interact with their community. It's a really good insight into that. So let's get into where this all started, so to speak, and why so many people are starting to talk about it. Well, basically, a few days ago, you had a post like this that the official ReZero account made. For clarification, this account right here is the official Crunchyroll-owned ReZero English account. They make posts and stuff about ReZero, and this is owned by Crunchyroll. They are in charge of this. So anyways, a few days ago, they actually had a post that was made that said, Reinhardt hit Pride where it hurts. His pride. So anyone that has watched the show and has a basic understanding of ReZero, hell, you don't even need to watch season 3. You need to just watch the beginning of season 2. And you will know who Regulus is. He is the Sin Archbishop of Greed. He's Greed. It was introduced at the beginning of season 2. Okay? This isn't a new revelation. This isn't something that just came out with this episode. It's something that's been established for years. Season 2 of ReZero came out in 2020, 5 years ago, okay? The fact that you have a Crunchyroll account, an actual advertisement, official account for ReZero, advertising ReZero, and they get the main enemy of the arc wrong, their name, is pretty funny. Especially when, at this point, the accusations against him was pretty bad. To kind of explain what I mean is that up to this very point, basically, the official ReZero account was not even advertising ReZero. It was basically a dead account for years. And to be fair, if there is no new ReZero, it makes sense there would be no new content. But I want to show an example to this, a counterpoint. This right here is the official PR account for Free Ren. As we know, Free Ren is over. The anime's over right now. It's not coming out. We know there's going to be a continuation, but, you know, there's technically no new content. And this account is very active. In fact, you have literally whoever is in charge of this account literally just constantly posting this Free Ren plushie doing random stuff. And it's like a man or a woman just having fun with their Free Ren plushie. Yeah. It's very entertaining and it's very wholesome. And it showcases that they're trying to keep interest and conversation around Free Ren alive. I respect this. This is what a PR account should do. It should continue garnering interest in the said product where you can sell not just, let's say, the show to people or the manga, but products in general. Just if the conversation stays alive, this series will have longevity and will be able to be talked about in the coming future. So basically, this example here is that you have an account that theoretically doesn't really need to be posting as often as they do, but they do, because they obviously like Free Ren, but they also understand the overall weight and the significance of the series and how it means to be a manager of an account, especially if you're a form of PR for Free Ren. So that gets into the situation with ReZero. Mistakes happen. And I want to point something out. There's nothing wrong with the ReZero account making a mistake and calling greed pride, okay? That's not necessarily an issue. The issue at hand is the fact that this isn't like the only mistake that, you know, Crunchyroll has made with ReZero. I talked about this in my video last week, but I'm going to bring it up here. Crunchyroll, for all 9 episodes of Season 3 of ReZero, they have had a drastic mistranslation every single episode. Some smaller than others, some larger than others, some very important to the plot. They continuously mess up the translations. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, how is this in relation to this post, the official ReZero account that Crunchyroll is operating? The thing is, it's very clear the overall management of the ReZero product is in just absolute a dire state. To basically no advertisement for the series whatsoever until the day it basically came out. No revealing of trailers or anything like that. No showcasing or talking about it. Nothing, to basically next to no PR for the series for a long time. And the fans themselves really had to speak up and start talking about the series just to get people to really know that the series was coming out. Which that gets into the other point I talked about in my video. A lot of people were completely unaware that ReZero returned last week. Hell, there's probably a lot of people still that's unaware that ReZero returned. It's back, and Crunchyroll has barely advertised the said product, and a lot of people have been calling them out for it. So after multiple days upon days and weeks now of them basically calling Crunchyroll out, they make this post and messing up this advertisement for the latest episode. And so obviously you have a lot of fans that get very disgruntled with this, because it's like, how do you keep making these mistakes? It's not just the fact that you have mistranslations. It's not the fact that you continue to not advertise, but now you do stuff like this with an official post. It's very clear that whoever is operating the whole marketing for ReZero does not care for ReZero. No. And that's bad. I'm just going to be blunt with you. If you have someone in charge of marketing for a set product, they should potentially be interested in the said product. They should not be a part of managing that said account, managing that said property, if they literally have no regard for it or no consideration or care. Because I think it's pretty important for someone that maybe has some passion for it to be able to talk about it constantly. And that gets into what I talked about when it came to the Free Ren account. It's very clear that whoever operates this account is very passionate about the said product. They're constantly talking about it. They're constantly posting pictures about it. And it showcases that this is how you do marketing. And then you look at the absolute state of the official ReZero account, and then you realize it is just a catastrophe. In fact, I want to point something out. Ever since all this drama for the last week that's happened, this account has been talking a little bit more about ReZero than it used to. Not as much, obviously, as you can clearly see, but it has made a lot more posts than it's had in basically the last few years. And I think that in general, it seems like the overall conversation of people talking about Crunchyroll's marketing is starting to work. They're like, oh crap, maybe we should start marketing. It's not looking too good. But I'm just like, I don't know what Crunchyroll is doing with this, but it's so bad because it showcases a complete disconnect from not just ReZero, but the anime community. It's really bad because, like, let's get into Ice's post here. This is removed comments. These are hidden replies, removed comments on Crunchyroll's latest post, which you could see here. You click here. And then you go into this section, you could see the hidden replies. And even if you disagree or don't agree with these, whatever, Crunchyroll is actively hiding criticism to how they've been handling stuff. You can see this pointed out right here. They're actively hiding criticism instead of acknowledging it, instead of saying, oh, we messed up or whatever, sorry or whatever, humanize the account. Because we know whoever's running it is human at the end of the day. If they admitted it and humanized it, a lot of people would rally and probably support it. But the fact there's been like zero transparency, and this once again echoes everything we've already seen from Crunchyroll and Sony at this point and how they handle things, I don't think it's really going to change. Just the more and more stuff like this that continues to come out, the more it really irks me just about how the company is run in general. It's just, it feels disrespectful, honestly. I mean, obviously this isn't as disrespectful as like maybe the mistranslations continuously for every single episode. Like, I'm not going to lie. Every episode of ReZero Season 3 being mistranslated, that's disrespectful.
Oh, that's not good.
100%. It pisses me off. Actually, as a fan. Like, that's crazy. That should not even be, that shouldn't even be allowed. Once again, if one mistake happened, that's fine. 9 episodes?
In a row?
Doesn't seem like it's just a mistake anymore. That seems like either someone's really bad at their job, or they just really don't care about the product of ReZero. And it's looking more like both of them, actually.
Yeah,
it's looking like both, not just one.
I think it's both.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about the situation. Like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking. I don't think it's anything crazy as yesterday's stuff. But I do think that in general,
but you're not
this is just another little line.
It's not crazy. Like, nothing insane to me. But at the same time, considering it's Crunchyroll, you're not surprised. That's basically what he's saying. That's basically what I'm saying. It's like, it's not crazy, but at the same time, are you really that surprised? Like legitimately, are you really that surprised that Crunchyroll would screw up like this, considering their recent history? No, really, no. You would not be surprised in the slightest. Oh my god. Yes, Prison School. I remember reading the manga by the same creator called Raw Hero, or same artist called Raw Hero. That was interesting. I also remember the whole remember that epic mistranslation and that epic localization of Gamergate in Prison School dub. Marky. Oh, Jimmy Marky. That's an old chestnut right there. Oh my god. Anyway, we got 9 minutes. Anyway, we have 9 minutes. Let's go ahead and continue. Have you ever watched Witchblade? I've watched bits and pieces of Witchblade. Let's do it. Look like while we watch man. Yikes. Yeah, 9 episodes in and they didn't even that was like 9 episodes in and they didn't even they did. So y'all gotta get a hold of that. Y'all gotta get a hold of that advertise, the way you advertise your shows, guys. But you guys, speaking of guys, you guys can thank Power for bringing referring me to that at the start of the stream. So Power, thank you for That's a fun little insight to get into. But I think the big thing is that I think Crunchyroll definitely needs to address those allegations, because it might still continue to gain traction, and we might be making a bad look on Crunchyroll look even worse. Just a thought. Just a thought. Making a bad situation look even worse. Okay. Thank you, Power. Thanks, Power. We got there's gonna be one more video I'm gonna react to, and that is from Smash JT, and that is on the whole Avowed situation, because it is it's coming out next week. I already saw posters of it in San Francisco, by the way. I already saw about, but like the same, like, okay, so I posted that Astra Yao poster that I saw. Well, a couple blocks down from where that poster was, there's a billboard for Avowed. I probably should have taken a photo of that one too. I'll take a photo of that on during my walk today. If I'm in that area, I'll take a photo of it. So, but no, Avowed basically. Oh, turn down the music for a bit. Okay, you got it. But yeah, Avowed is. Yeah. You know, still a little peeled over on the whole Matt Hansoning effect, basically. You know, if you guys remember that old chestnut. You know, hey, I want to, hey, calling all black artists. I'd like to help you replace me. You know, we need to get rid of the crusty old white dudes, in the video game industry. You know. I want to go back to living in the woods. Yeah, Matt, that was very discriminatory right there. Not a good look. Not a good look. And you're off as fucking racist. You come off as a racist. And no offense, you're freaking racist, dude. You come off as a racist. Anyway, thank you for yeah. So you little attempt at virtue signaling. Avowed is from Obsidian. Avowed is the next new title from Obsidian, of course, developers of the team behind Fallout New Vegas, of course, The Outer Wilds. Avowed is basically their Skyrim. It's basically their Skyrim. So, no, Avowed. I think I'm Emerald. I think I'm about 100 hours into Cyberpunk at this point. I think I'm about 100 hours at this point, and that's only my first playthrough. Like, I'm clearing up like Saya is clearing up all the gigs now. Just going and just kind of do a cleanup of all the gigs, and then do the road side hustles with Johnny before we start on the Phantom Liberty. Like the whole thing is, I'm going to do the Phantom Liberty stuff before the end game, before we reach to the end game, though. And I'm still deciding on what path. Saya should take in this playthrough. I'm leaning towards I really want to try my hand at getting the temperance temperance ending, where you storm Arasaka Tower with just Johnny alone. So basically a self-deletion mission, basically. I love it. Absolutely love it. The mods are chef's kiss. I think I have over 300 mods installed for Cyberpunk, and I absolutely God, I'm having so much fun with them. I think I'm doing the Lizzie Wizzy mission right now. Oh my god, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And the best thing is, one of the best things is that I've gotten so back into Cyberpunk that I'm binge watching. Like, I'm binge watching lore videos at work all the time. I'm like binge watching war videos and itch right now. I'm like, it's like, man, I'm really invested now. I'm like, man, I'm really invested. It's fun. It is. I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. It's just you come to realize you're just like, yeah. Avalon's one of them. Chris Avalon is one of them. Chris Avalon is one of them. Like, hey. Chris Avalon is one of them, you know. But they're in hot water. But Obsidian's in hot water for a recent interview, where the interviewer, or the spokesperson, basically said that, you know, the game is going to be buggy at launch, and that's a good thing. I'm like, wait, huh? Wait, what? Like, what? I'm not gonna update until I finish one. Like, oh my god. You know what the funny thing is, Power? You know what the funny thing is, Power? The annoying thing is that they're still putting out updates for Cyberpunk. They're actually dropping updates, and it's both mainly based on, you know, community feedback, based on community mods, based on the modding stuff. And every time they drop a new update, I have to like reinstall all the mods there so it's more compatible. It's like, especially the main like stuff like such as the Red Engine, Cyber Engine tweaks and stuff like that. I have to redo that every time whenever there's a new update drop. So I'm like, it's a little annoying. I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah, I do the manual. Yeah, I do the manually. I use Vortex. I use the Vortex Manager, so it's great. It's great software. Not all the mods work. Not all the mods work exactly, but they're close enough. You know, they're close enough. And finally, sometimes it takes like booting up the game like a second time. Like for some mods, all it takes is just like booting up the game again, and then the mods will finally appear. It's like, okay, there we go. Now it's going to appear. So it takes some time. Takes some time. A little tweak there, but it's really great though. So, and I run the game at, I think on its best day, I think on the best settings I run at is like 50 frames per second. Like, it's not exactly 60, but it's still smooth to me. It's still smooth. When you don't have many windows, when you don't have other windows open, then it can run like close to 45 to 50, and I think it's perfectly fine with me. I'm totally fine with that. I'm not expecting 60 at all. So, plus Emerald, I would advise one mod that I think you should get, and that is the Nova LUT, the Nova shaders. Basically, they're basically reshaders, and it is great. It's great. The reshade mods are great, especially the Nova one, basically, where it's a plugin where you have multiple filters that you can play through, and they're all really good. Like, they're really good. Like, a lot of those shaders make the game look more realistic too. So anyway, so we are close to finishing up the lighting on V here. It's subtle tones, as you can see. It's subtle, but it does work. Now, so what's going on with so we're gonna take another long break here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna react to my boy Smash GP. So this is all about.
Is a little jank kind of a good thing?
You gotta accept a little jank to do something
fun and creative, I think.
The director of Avowed has had an interview with MinMax, the YouTube channel, that talked to her and posted a 13-minute or so video asking questions and going into some good detail about what to expect out of Avowed and how the game itself is janky, which is not a great look coming out of something that should be, hey, I'm excited about this game. Let's talk about what it has to offer the community. But instead, all people are saying is, yep, all this does is confirm the suspicions of the whistleblowers that Smash had talking to him. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. This is one of those situations where I have been very hesitant to continue making videos on Avowed because the multiple whistleblowers that have reached out to me in the past about it that work directly with Obsidian Entertainment, which is all I can really say to not give anything away, have reached out to me saying, actually, some of the stuff we told you, can you not say that moving forward? Because we're worried about our jobs here. There's investigations internally going on, and we just don't want our names being caught up with anything. We don't want any trouble. We just want to get back to doing work, and hopefully this all just blows over. And then Carrie Patel goes on this interview and confirms basically everything they told me. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Not say this? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down how Carrie Patel, the game director and senior writer for Avowed, has gone on an interview with MinMax on their YouTube channel to confirm that the
It's not a bug, it's creative feature. Okay, Todd Howard.
game is basically riddled with bugs, glitchy as hell, and sure, that adds to the enjoyment of the game. In a recent interview with MinMax on their YouTube channel, Avowed director and senior narrative designer Carrie Patel made a pretty wild statement that sparked or reinforced, depending on where you stand on this game, concern among gamers everywhere. Patel went on to openly acknowledge that Avowed, the once highly anticipated RPG coming out of Obsidian Entertainment, is going to be launching with some degree of jank, the kind of unexpected glitches that can and do seriously interfere with the overall gameplay experience. And this is like the quintessential, it's not a bug, it's a feature argument. And that doesn't really work in the modern day of gaming.
Is a little jank kind of a good thing?
You gotta accept a little jank to do something fun and creative, I think.
While I can appreciate the honesty in that quick clip there, it does speak to a much broader issue going on with the situation at Avowed and how that MinMax seemed to cut what she was saying. I would be very curious to hear what the full answer was, because I got a feeling it didn't sound great.
Is a little jank kind of a good thing?
You gotta accept a little jank to do something fun and creative, I think.
A little jank in the trank.
Do you remember when we did that rapid fire interview back for the Outer Worlds? Where you were like, whew, I am glad that is not me.
The casual way Patel framed it as almost inevitable in modern gaming has set off alarm bells with not just myself, but the entire gaming community at large. Pair this with the multiple insiders that have been communicating with me over the past few months who are directly affiliated in some way with Obsidian Entertainment. There are fairly low expectations for how this game is going to be received overall by the entire gaming community at large. And again, like I started at the open with this, I can't really speak specifics, but the people that I talked to that have played Avowed and have a lot of experience with it weren't very excited about the future prospects and review scores coming out of it. Patel goes on to attempt to explain.
Okay, Joe, let's put it this way. I don't know why I'm still drawing. Sorry about that. I need to take a break. No, Joe, put it this way. It's been like that since the ideas of updates, since we've all been like, oh, we'll fix it later. Like, release it now, and then we'll fix it later. Yeah, that same mentality, it's been like that for a decade at this point.
How a little jank is necessary for a fun and creative experience, implying that the bugs are actually somehow features, part of the charm when it comes to massive RPGs, which I gotta be honest, couldn't help but chuckle when I heard that. Considering the recent industry trends of launching completely broken, incomplete games, her statement with MinMax feels far less like playful jokes and far more like attempting to soften the inevitable blow for what sounds like is going to be an extremely deeply flawed product when it finally releases. Now, could they patch it and fix it up down the road? Sure. But the game comes out, as of recording this, next week. In addition to being a guest being interviewed on MinMax's channel, I noticed when doing research for this video that Carrie Patel seemed to be going on any channel on YouTube and gave off some strong Tommy Tallarico vibes, seeing as it didn't even seem to matter how many subscribers a channel had. I mean, there were some channels I was finding her interviewing under 2,000 subscribers, which
we should have reached out to Carrie Patel for an interview, you know? I'm just thinking, now I was thinking about that. We missed out a golden opportunity there. I'm just saying.
On the surface, hey, that's great. Good for her, giving these smaller channels a chance for the attention. But I think the problem with doing that is it speaks to a much larger issue. She's clearly very desperate to try and get the word out for this game any way she can, and major channels don't care about it because of what they've been seeing leading up to this. And because of that, we have Carrie Patel defaulting to overall smaller channels just trying to get the word out there. Sure, there are some larger channels that interviewed her as well, but I just saw this as something that was odd that stuck out to me. And while I've said I'm not able to verbatim repeat what one of my insider whistleblowers told me, the comment by Gajin kind of speaks to what the concerns are. And they said on Twitter,
well, to be fair, I think she would probably turn down my interview, considering the fact that I basically did 3 videos calling out Matt Hansen. And, you know, the first video blew up, basically, you know. Oh, no, not that one. What was the Matt Hansen effect? Oh, this one right here. Yeah, you know. I think we can say with confidence that when she would turn down my interview after seeing the 3 videos that I did, basically 1 calling out Matt Hansen, 2 calling out Avowed themselves, calling out Obsidian themselves, and then the 3rd video calling out Microsoft. So yeah, I think the chances of that are very slim.
it's been so many years saying women needed to be in charge while running off the ones who were because they weren't woke enough. And then in parentheses, Amy Henning. ... Doesn't seem to be working out very well. And again, according to my insiders, it doesn't seem like there's a potential big future prospect in it for this one Carrie Patel. And that's really all I'm allowed to say at this point because it doesn't give too much away. But at the same time, I think even Obsidian is realizing that they made a grave error in putting this person in charge. Fans have reason to worry that Avowed is going to suffer the same exact fate that's plagued other similar titles in recent years, overpromising, underdelivering, and left to patch its problems long after release. Not to mention how they go on to talk about how she built this game as the train on the tracks and building the tracks as the train is moving is probably not a great sign for what the final product is gonna be.
What's a phrase that you said like 5,000 times during this game's development that only applies to this game's development?
Oh, goodness. Not that one. We're building the tracks while the train is moving forward.
Isn't that kind of every
Said no one about any game ever.
So you're directing this game. I assume you thought that it'd be hard. How many times harder was it than you expected going in?
Many more times.
Like 10 times harder?
Yeah, that feels about right.
Toughest project of your career?
Yes.
What made it so hard?
Creative pivot around the time I joined. Lots of changes midstream. Keeping the game moving forward. Continuing to make content and leaving ourselves time to iterate.
And while Platel's comments with all of this might alone be enough to raise eyebrows, you pair it with what my insiders have been telling me that I haven't been able to make a video expressing because they told me not to say the specific things they told me. I gotta be honest, I am pulling down any hype levels that I had for this game, even below what I had after covering Matt Hansen. The sources, who of course asked to remain anonymous, paint a troubling picture for the game's current state and the studio's overall direction as well. I'm bound by confidentiality, of course, so while I can't disclose specific details, the general consensus that I've heard among these insiders is clear. Avowed is simply not living up to internal expectations. The biggest damning info that I've heard, even from those working intimately on the game, they don't seem to have much confidence in it whatsoever. Adding to that, making matters even worse, Obsidian's art director, Matt Hansen, has been exposed by multiple individuals who know him personally for fostering what's been described to me as an extremely toxic workplace culture. According to the sources, the studio's morale is nowhere close to what you'd expect it from a team working on a supposed flagship RPG in their pre-existing Pillars of Eternity universe. Now, given everything that I'm hearing, this is kind of seeming like a suspicious launch of how Avowed probably isn't going to sell many copies, and it's almost like they know that going into it, which is why it's going to be a day one Game Pass, where Microsoft is kind of building these games as, sure, they're not going to be complete, full feature, and everyone's going to have a great time with them, but you can just play it, try it out on Game Pass, and the studio will get paid based off of people playing it from that. And it's almost like Obsidian is just falling back on...
John, you ain't wrong. Like, you ain't wrong technically, because it's starting to feel like Obsidian, like Microsoft buying Obsidian and basically turning it into another Bethesda. You may not be wrong on that. So,
sure, at least we'll get money from Game Pass. Given everything I've been hearing, Avowed feels suspiciously like it's a title that's been developed with Game Pass in mind. A game designed to attract curiosity clicks to play it without much expectation of long-term player investment. Game Pass is the ultimate double-edged sword in this regard, though. It's great for accessibility to play games on the cheap, but then again, it also provides a safety net for studios to release less polished experiences. With Avowed,
I stand by what I said. I think Game Pass is a mistake. I think Game Pass is a mistake for this very reason.
Obsidian and Microsoft seem to be banking on gamer curiosity over actual game quality, knowing that most gamers won't actually buy the game to play it outright anyways. So I guess this is just a buyer beware video for anyone that was planning on getting this game, especially around launch, specifically on launch day. I would highly recommend waiting, especially for this game. Don't pre-order it, and listen to whatever reviewers or YouTubers that you trust that will be playing this game to showcase it to you, for them to expose it and say, is it worth it for your time or not? Because everything I've been seeing is, sure, it could be a entertaining experience.
Yeah.
If you can put up with the issues surrounding it. And how deep those go, it sounds like it's even worse than I thought in the first place. Anyways,
so Avowed's coming out next week, and I might do a video on that. I might do a video on that. I might do a video just on the reactions, because you know, like I said, you know, may not make my cup of tea, but any game with this person's name in the credits, yeah, I'm gonna back off from it. I'm gonna back off, basically. I still got 1 minute. I thought this was interesting. I still got 1 minute, but I thought this would be interesting, because this is from Aquabed. How do you feel about this? I just want to.
Wow, this game has loads of people going mask off. I love Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. I can't wait to play the second one. Apparently, it's one of the best-selling games. Yes, I've seen a lot of out.
Okay, so we brought up the whole thing with KCD2 and the age thing, and like I said, this is too much of a minefield. But I want to know what your thoughts on this response is. I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts on this response is, though. Just your thoughts. I just want to listen. I just want to hear what your guys' thoughts on this whole thing. So.
Rage on Kingdom Come 2, but this takes the cake. I've seen.
Subscribe. By the way, if you guys are not subscribed to Appa Ben, please do so. I've been following him ever since 2016. I've been following him ever since 2016. So he's a great channel. So long time fan, very long time fan too. So. But I just want to just hear this out. I just want you guys to hear this out. I want to hear your thoughts on this because, like I said, this whole thing with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or what I like to dub Kingdom Gate, is insane.
Seen people share this article where it says that Kingdom Come 2 has depictions of child. Oh boy, I can't even finish that. Is it true though? No, it's not. What really happened is that the game has 2 gay teenagers. That's it. One of them, Henry, is the player character, and he's gay by the player's choice. So you don't even have to engage in it. You can instead engage with the ladies in the game. Some of them are older than Henry, who is a teenager. Any outrage on that? That happened in the first game too. This writer calls teenage gay romance child sodomy. That's pretty much the basis of this article. It is entirely the writer's homophobic opinion that 2 gay teenagers equal child, and them having sex equals sodomy. The characters are fictional. No real children are being harmed. All the actors playing the characters are grown adults. The romance involves 2 gay characters. That's normal if you went to any high school in the Western countries, unless you are homophobic, which a lot of these people are. My issue isn't your homophobia, believe it or not. My issue is your deception. You're calling something one thing when it's actually not that thing you called. Even if I am homophobic, calling gay teenagers child sodomy is factually wrong. That's not the worst part. This part right here is a real mask-off moment. The game should be banned in the United States, as the game is clearly graphically depicting CP. It's not. It's not depicting CP at all. There are no children involved in the game. This article is a malicious cancellation attempt on a game based on the writer's own homophobic beliefs. There's also this part, which is straight up evil. Authorities should investigate the developers and potentially seek criminal penalties. For what? Making a video game depicting 2 gay teenagers played by adults? Are you out of your mind? Are you gonna ban Queer as Folk next? Wow, I didn't know Charlie Hunnam was in it, aka Jax from Sons of Anarchy. There's nothing illegal about this game. This game is fiction. The characters are adults. This is actually malicious. I am disgusted by the level of deception and how far these people try to cancel this one game, all because of their homophobia. They're not gonna stop on this game. They will continue their crusade on other games too. And someone really need to call them out before these new moral guardians go too far. Okay, now we're done. That was insane. But there are plenty more hooplas that are more gaming related that you guys might
Yeah, that is like this whole thing with this whole thing with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is just I'm out. Because they're still fighting, because you know it's based off the codex and such like that, and yeah, just saying like the age of the character is, you know, based off Han. Was based off Han's actual age, and since the real life human inspired by was 15 at the time the game happened. This is a back and forth thing. All I can say is both sides are at fault with this, and this is too much of a minefield, honestly. But I just want to know what your thoughts are, though. I just wonder what your thoughts on that from that perspective, because well, Delro's getting Yeah, some people are saying that, yeah, one, that, having the options is a slippery slope. It's a weird thing, man. That's why I'm like, I'm backing the F off on that. I'm backing that off. So I thought you'd be interested. I thought you guys would be interested to hear that take. Just wonder what your thoughts on that too. I've heard too much of. I'm just hearing too much like back and forth on either side, and honestly, I feel like there's too much of a. I think there has to be an answer in the middle. I think there has to be a proper answer in the middle. Honestly, there's something in the middle there. Either that, or it's just to go out of your way to, despite how I feel and how bad it's handled, to go out of your way to advocate for the game to be boycotted, and for the game to be boycotted and banned, and for the the developers, like Daniel Barbara and the developer team, to be like investigated and such like that. I will admit that was definitely the point where I'm like, okay, I am done with Phantom Pulse. I am done with that site. I am done with that site, basically. Belrose is still being cooked to this day, right? Belrose is still being cooked, especially after what Madam Savvy revealed. Especially after what Madam Savvy brought up. And yeah, I have zero like respect for Phantom Pulse at this point. So yeah, I guess this is me planting my flag. I'm not going to use the articles anymore. They are, in my humble opinion, they are illegitimate, and they have no credibility at this point. I love it when it comes to the okay. So you just gotta love it when it comes to yeah, there has to be a nuance there. Yeah, there has to be a nuance. There has to be a middle ground when it comes to that. There has to be a mid-tone. That's what we're trying to do here. It's crazy, man. That's a minefield. That is such a big minefield. That's why I'm calling it Kingdom Gate. Yeah, I can understand both sides of the argument. I just think, I think this is me. I think this is me. I think this Kingdom Come Deliverance situation has even made me more like the anti-woke side, the anti-woke side, stuff like that. I'm not going to try to do it, but it's just, I guess you could say the people who get to sit with, the audience and everything. It's crazy, dude. It's just crazy. This whole thing is insane. Insanity. There's got to be a middle ground here. There's got to be a middle ground. There has to be something. There has to be a silver lining here at some point, because it's just my opinion. I think there has to be. The answer is in the middle somewhere. I think if they didn't. Also, I think this situation would have been mitigated if they also said that if they also didn't bring up the age though, and just that in this one, they're Henry and the other characters, they're in their 20s, they're older and stuff like that, and just left it at that. Because I think the only issue would be just the people having a stiffy over the gay romance scene and such like that, I'm just stepping out of it, man. I'm not. It's too much of a mind to go for me. It is too much. And I think I just simply am not going to. I'm trying my best to not be like pulled to either side of this. I just think both sides are wrong. It's my opinion. I think both sides are at fault when it comes to this situation. True. That is true. You really can't have like two male characters be friends anymore without alluding to some like gay shipping or something like that. And the same thing can be said for female friends too. Because I mean, you can have that, you want to have that fun, but like there's clearly a bias. Definitely a bias against. There's definitely a bias against, like I guess like straight relationship or something like that in media, or somewhat like that. That's what I'm getting. But okay, you can't have like platonic relationships too, like you said before, two male characters can't just be friends without, having it allude to possibly a gay ship or something like that. It's like, no, you don't understand the concept of what friendship is. You don't understand. It's like the people who like advocate for that do not know. Have never. To be honest with you, the people who advocate for that have never experienced what it's like to actually have friends. I know that's a hard topic, but you've never had a friend in your life. You never had an actual friend, okay? Also, the dragon is for the friends. Exactly. I'm just saying, man. To put in cyberpunk terms, you have a problem with tunes just being tunes, okay? Alright? The concept of a tune, alright? Come on now. Anyway, we gotta finish this. I think the tones are getting better though. I think the tones are definitely getting better. It is very unnecessary. Oh no, I'm just running with female Judy this entire time. So female V is romancing Judy. So I'll play with different Although I do want to experiment with different flavors and stuff like that. So. With Ty, straight up romance is Judy during the playthrough. I'm thinking, I'm considering like either should I do my second playthrough with either Skyla or Brianna. And I'm really leaning towards Brianna. Strength build. This will full on, muscle build with Brianna. Maybe body and tech. Maybe Brianna be like body and tech. Body and tech wear. Intelligent, yes, but still more focused on the body and tech wear. Really on body and tech build, basically. Which if we're going to Brianna next build out, I need to find a really good abs mod. I really need to find a good mod for abs. Someone really very talented. And I'm thinking of Brianna being a nomad. I'm thinking of Brianna being a nomad, and I'm thinking of Skyla being a corpo. Rihanna kind of feels it more nomad. Rihanna kind of feels that nomad vibe though. Saya feels that street vibe though. Saya and Kiki would definitely fit the street vibe. So I'm gonna have to do a little poll though. I'm gonna do a little poll. Should we do a nomad? Rihanna. Reflects is in. With the science, she's like, I wanted to do just more of an all-around build. I just want to do more of an all-around, but later on in the game now, I'm deciding like Saya's straight up a shinobi. I'm going for the shinobi with the reflexes, and intelligence. Reflex, intelligence, and probably emphasize on tech and reflex, intelligence, and body. If you do. Also, Emerald, I got so pissed. I got so pissed after how Oda was killing Saya so many freaking times that when I finally defeated Oda, I was just like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna chop his head off. I don't care. I'm like, no, you killed me like 3 freaking times now. I'm done. I'm done enough of your crap. Plus, I was like, Saya was like buddies with, we were kind of buddies with, I like to think that like Saya was like a little like buddies with Takamura. But in the back of her mind, she knows that Takamura is hiding something. She knows that Takamura is up to something. That's why she's kind of playing her distance with him in a way. They kind of act like buddies, but they are, yeah, she knows something's up. And mainly because I want to go for the, the only thing is, I would love it if you had if you had moments where you actually can betray, where you find out the real, you find out that, you find out that, following Hanako's plan leads to the devil ending, and you, after kind of finding that realization, you're like, yeah, screw you. I'm not with this freaking game. I'm taking this kind of crap. So I'm like, yeah, I would have loved it if there were moments where you could, publicly straight up reject Hanako's offer, even go after her and Takamura, basically. For it, because you find out, because after finding out all the shit that's going down, like going back through those endings again, I do think the devil ending is one of the worst. I think the devil ending is possibly the worst ending in the game. However, just because, in my opinion, I think it's the worst thing in the game, doesn't mean it's not the most well-written ending. It is incredibly well-written, though. It's like, yeah, you feel like crap. Like, and I think a lot of people have all agreed that the star ending when you lose with Pan Am is the most hopeful ending, at least. It's the most hopeful ending. But like I said, I still think there is a chance. I would like for a chance to know that he returned for Orion. I would like to see if there is a chance that he could return. And I was watching more videos breaking down how actually he could survive in the multiple ending. Even with the temperance ending, where Johnny takes over her body, because he goes beyond the black wall with all, and I could see that open the door for her returning as possible in a new body too. You know what I mean? And I watched all the cut content. There's so many videos that done that go over all the cut content too, and how like Night City was supposed to be much more vertical than it is now, or stuff like that. But there's a lot of things I would love to see in Orion, in the Orion sequel. That's what I'm calling it, Orion. So, all right, let's do the highlights. Highlights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have. I think that's my big. I think that's the one thing I would have loved if it was originally third person. Because there are mods. There are mods to make it third person. In fact, that there is also a mod that fixes up all of the third person animations, and they're still working on it. But it's just like, man, if it was only native third person, because the character customization is really, I really like it. I really like the character customization. Of course, with the freaking mods, just make it even more perfect. Hundreds of thousands of mods I've installed at this point. It just makes it endless at this point. But as far as But also, here's another good thing though. Here's another good thing I didn't realize that is that the It's a Wonderful, what I like to call the It's a Wonderful Life ending, the tower ending in Phantom Liberty. That actually, actually, I wouldn't say that's actually not a bad ending at all though, because that opens the door up for people to actually start their life again. Like they get to start over. Like you could see that like it could lead into tower ending could lead into Orion with maybe V becoming a fixer. Maybe V ends up becoming a fixer, ends up becoming, finding other ways. They're not able to accept the cybernetic implants anymore. But, just because one door is closed, another door is open. That means that they can really, something to think about, Something to think about. Then I went into this. I was watching a couple of videos. I was doing some curiosity, and there is a video. There are like two videos, and I think it might be AI generated, but maybe not. But it's two videos of a conversation between between Vince and Valerie. Male V and female V, and it's so interesting and hilarious because I'm like, it makes me wonder, what if they did something like that? What if they did a deal? What if they did like a DLC or spinoff where it turns out that whatever male V or female V, it turns out they're siblings. Like how would actually that? It always makes me wonder, how would that play out? They're twins. It's like I think it would be because I think there would be a lot of interesting ways you can go with that too, especially in Cyberpunk, with having male V and female V end up becoming siblings. Well, I think in reality, I think realistically, if that was the case with Cyberpunk, Night City would be screwed. They would be royally screwed. Royally screwed. Because you would have two very powerful entities. You don't really realize how much of a powerful entity these becomes, especially later on in the game. You don't realize having two of those would basically doom your entire city, would doom the entire world. I like to think that the corporations, such as like Gortek and Arasaka, would be royally screwed. But you can't have both of them exist. You can't have two beings exist in the same timeline. I was like, bro, they're too powerful for this world. They're too dangerous for this world. It was a funny video. I was like, huh. Nice City, especially with two V's. Nice City would be royally screwed. Every single person there would be royally screwed. This world would be effed up. Because how powerful they are and how influential male V and female V is. Like, that's the whole thing with the devil. That's the whole thing, like, I can see also with the point of the devil ending is like, okay, dispose of V. Okay, dispose V and get back some kind of stuff, but you don't realize how much V, how powerful V is as a commodity. It's a commodity. Actually, they would be a very valuable asset. But seriously, being able to get those implants, especially those top level cyberware, and dealing with, you know, an anarchist rocker boy in their head with the chip. So basically, the Soul Killer project worked very well, and it would make V an absolute commodity, like a must-have asset. So what would I like to see in the Orion sequel? So with story-wise, with everything set up, especially with the ending and with Phantom Liberty, it's all alluding to a fifth corporate war. No, it's all alluding to a fifth corporate war, basically. And it's also alluding to not only a fifth corporate war, but also between Militech and Arasaka. Not only a fifth corporate war, but also I could see the sequel exploring more about the fifth. Let me put it this way. I could see what could happen is that the fifth corporate war will be centered on the Soul Killer project and being able to break, like, which corporation between Militech and Arasaka, which corporation, and Nightcore, don't forget Nightcore, between Militech, Arasaka, and Nightcore, which of those three entities could successfully break through the Black Wall? Because the way to see it with the Black Wall, basically, you know, because it's explained in the lore videos that it explained in the lore videos that they have experience with what happened with Beyond the Black Wall and such like that. You know, what happened, what goes on beyond the Black Wall, and how the first data crash basically created, you know, that whole thing with the Black Wall, with the rogue AI, with all those rogue AI. I really do see that Orion, you know, especially with like the Project Oracle and stuff like that. If you read the codexes, that the whole thing is going to be about the start of the fifth corporate war, and the rogue AI finally. Sorry. We're done, by the way. We're done for today. No, I just wanted to. Okay, so the fifth corporate war and the rogue AIs finally breaking through the Black Wall. I think we're going to learn even more about Mr. Blue Eyes and Nightcore. Mr. Blue Eyes and Nightcore, you know? Because that whole conspiracy with you know, some of the residents of Night City having blue eyes was indicating that it might be taken control by AI. And you see that in a lot of scenes, that you see Mr. Blue Eyes watching and observing the situation at hand. I think that with Orion, it would be about the fifth corporate war, or starting up the fifth corporate war, with it being the battle for the Black Wall, to release the Black. Who's going to take control? Both corporations want to take control of that rogue AI, of the rogue AIs beyond the Black Wall. I think in that way, you know, Alt gets her. I could see Alt as a potential antagonist for Orion. You know, getting her revenge. on Aristaka and stuff like that, with the Black Wall going through, she could be like this messiah for the Black Wall as well. For all the rogue AIs, I could see that. Ideally, I would love for the Orion sequel to have it that V actually survived. That in some way, shape, or form, V survived. Like, I could see it start with, like, the whole scene. I could see it start with the star ending the sun ending where V goes on that last heist, goes on that final heist to the Crystal Palace. I could see Orion start right on that heist. Right there. Orion picks up right there where V infiltrates the Crystal Palace, and that can set up the events for Orion. That can set up the whole thing with the Fifth Corporate War, where even the Crystal Palace is involved, where all the stuff in Crystal Palace and stuff like that is going to, it's going to solve all this stuff. But I do think that story-wise, the plot to Orion will likely be centered on the potential Fifth Corporate War and the battle for the Black Wall. The rogue AIs finally breaking through the Black Wall. That's what I like to think. That's what I like to show, Sean. Gameplay-wise, I could see new features added. I could see more refinement added. I could see more car customization added as well. I could also see that it can start with a completely new character, maybe a year or so after the events of 2077: The Phantom Liberty, where V is based on the life path or endings that you chose in the previous game. You learn about that V becomes a legend. V is known, regarded as a legend, like in the same level of a Morgan Blackhand or Atom Smasher, basically becoming a true Night City legend. I could also see the whole situation with the Fifth Corporate War being the war that pretty much destroys Night City completely. Like, destroys it completely. Like, not just Night City, but the entire world. You know what I mean? There's so much. I think that I would like to see the customization get a little bit deeper too. Yeah, more than just being a merc. You could be a fixer. You could be a fixer. You can follow kind of play the different. What I would love to see for Orion is to have the different life paths. The different life paths have a bigger effect on the overall story. The life paths have a stronger effect, regardless if you're a nomad, a street kid, maybe a street kid following in V's footsteps. Maybe I could see it as you're if they do the Corpo nomad street kid again. I could see it with the street kid path. Basically, you could be a merc or a fixer, or you could be following in the footsteps as another Night City legend. With nomads, living a life of the avocados and stuff like that, maybe being part of another nomad group. I would love to explore. Like Emerald, I would love to explore other parts of the country. I'm serious. I would have moments where you are out of Night City and you're actually experiencing what it's like in other parts of the country, like say like in the free state of Texas, or even in the NUSA, or even parts in the NUSA. Because I would always like to see what it was like, what other parts of the United States is like in the Cyberpunk universe. Because I think it would be very interesting, because you read about it, you listen to what happened in Chicago, what happened, of course, with when Texas and California broke off into the free state, basically the free states, that there are also neutral states that are kind of in between. That was during the whole unification war. Like off topic, I would love for I would love to see other different areas as the setting. I would love to see other different places around the universe. I'm serious. I would love to see the different places around the universe. With the whole everything in the NUSA, everything in the NUSA, with the free states, with even the states that are basically out of the whole unification war, stuff like that. Because I would love to know more about. I would love to see what it was, what Texas is like, as a free state, basically. I think it would be interesting. I really do. In the same way, I could see. In the same way, like I can see the Stellar Blade sequel. I think the obvious direction for Stellar Blade 2 is Eve. Eve goes to war with Mother Sphere. Eve basically goes all out war with Mother Sphere. With Adam, with a combination with Adam, with everyone left in Zion, they would go a full-out war with Mother Sphere. And it would also explore how Eve, being the proprietor of the new human race, the new Andrew Adolf /Andrew Adolf / Nativa hybrid, the true combination, the true next step of the human race. How that can produce how rebuilding the human race, basically. Yeah, I could see that. Like they take the street, like take the you can do the three nomad, you can do the three corporate. Here's how I can see it. Like what Emerald is just saying right now. I can see the three paths, the street kid, nomad, and corpo. Take those three and then expand it. Like you have different sub-paths based on the life path. Like what you said, as a street kid, if you pick the street kid path, if you start your story out as a street kid, you could start out as either a gangster, a merc, or even a fixer. You know what I mean? Like for example, corpo. If you start with a corpo, corpo has a sub path where you're either working at the very bottom, or you're not even like at the top 1%, or not top 10%, but you may work as one of the bigger. Like I could see that with the corpo path, like a sub path where you work as their Arasaka or Militech. You actually pick which corporation you start off with, either Arasaka or Militech or any of the other or Zetatech or Biotechnica. Start off with there. With the nomads, you can start off with different. You have a choice of different families you can pick from, even one with the avocados. Kang Tao is another one. Yeah. Say you do corpo and you have a choice. Say you start your life as corpo this time, but you get to pick which corporation you would start off with, and it would either be Arasaka, Militech, Dignitech, Biotechnica, or Kang Tao, or even possibly I would leave Night Corps out. I would leave Night Corps out though, because that's still shrouded in mystery. I would like that it would reveal more of Night Corps. Like the sequel could reveal more of what Night Corps truly is, and the whole thing with the Mr. Blue 5 conspiracy. Or even you could start out as an administrator in Night City, maybe not as a mayor, but as maybe as an administrator, somebody who works in the government, Night City government, basically. You see how corrupted the Night City government is from the inside this time. Or even if you start off with a street kid, you have gangster, fixer, merc, or even a police officer. Like you start off working for the NCPD. See, nomads can be the same thing, you know. Nomads, you can start off as one of the families, one of the different nomad families, even as a race. You can even start off with a race, life as a race, basically. You know, pillaging different people for cyberware and such like that. Or even like with the gangster boss, like with the whole gangster life path, you can even pick which gang you want to start out with. Would you want to start your path as a member of the Tiger Claws, or even as a member of the Mox, or even a member of Maelstrom? Pick three. I could see pick three gangs. Pick three gangs you can start your path out with. Like I would pick either have Tiger Claws as one. The other one could be the Mox, or even Valentino. It should come with perks too. Yeah, and all those paths have different specific perks too. You know, I think it's endless the way they could go into it. But anyway, what's not endless is this show, because I got to get ready for work. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys are I'm liking how V looks. I'm liking how V I like how V looks. I put the link to SableSketch. SableSketch is social media, so he's an old friend of mine from Instagram days, and just you can use his characters today. So check him out. Let me know what you guys think. I'll post an update to this later in the later on today on the community chat, so you guys know what's going on. And I probably can finish this by tomorrow. Maybe by tomorrow. Not by Thursday. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much. Smack that like button, make it jiggle. Smack that subscribe button, make it jiggle as well. We appreciate all your support. Massive thank you to everybody in the Cute, Sexy, and Wild Nation as well. And we will see you all tomorrow. Makini 90 are streaming illustrated. Tune in to Makini in the morning. And until tomorrow, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love. Never apologize for wanting attractive women in your media, especially in your video games. And above all else, never stop drawing. Also, we have a new outro, so enjoy the new outro as well. Bye, y'all.
Cute, sexy, and fun. That is definitely the best way to describe our channel members as well. We'd like to thank every one of you in the CSF Nation for supporting Makini and what he does for his YouTube channel. If you would like to become a CSF Nation member, join the channel for as low as $1 a month. You get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. We'd love to see you here in the CSF Nation. You are an excellent company, and we thank you once again for your incredible support. CSF Nation for life. Mwah. Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the morning, including your morning started off on the right foot with us. Remember to smack that like button, make it jiggle, share the show out to everyone you know, become a channel member for those that you want to support Makini further, and subscribe, of course, to see more content from Makini. I am Maddie Soteli, producer and weather girl, and we wish you a wonderful rest of your day. We will see you all here next time on Makini in the Morning. Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right here in the City of Cities. Want to be a part of the next Makini in the Morning live show audience? Well, all you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free. Makini in the Morning is produced by Souvenir Productions with Makini Charles Productions in association with Enlisa Lockhart Television and Makara Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.